Kendall Jenner and Jacob Elordi visit ancestor Edward Jenner's statue during London trip. Kendall Jenner and Jacob Elordi have once again captured attention during their time in London, but this time, the spotlight is not only on their relationship. The model made a surprisingly personal stop during her London trip when she visited the statue of Edward Jenner, a historic figure with a remarkable connection to her family. Before we get into the details, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave a comment telling us what you think about Kendall's meaningful London visit. Because what may look like a simple tourist stop actually has a fascinating family connection behind it. Kendall Jenner has spent much of her time in London surrounded by fashion, high-profile events, and growing attention surrounding her relationship with actor Jacob Elordi. But amid the glamorous dinners, public appearances, and moments shared around the city, Kendall took time to visit a place connected to her own family history. And that connection goes back generations. The location is Hyde Park, where a statue honoring Edward Jenner stands as a tribute to one of the most influential figures in the history of vaccination. Edward Jenner is widely remembered for his pioneering work with smallpox vaccination, a development that transformed medical history and helped establish the foundation for modern immunization. For Kendall Jenner, however, the statue carries an even more personal meaning. Edward Jenner is part of her family ancestry. Earlier this year, Kendall appeared in a Burberry campaign video in which she spoke about the remarkable family connection. During that appearance, she mentioned that a statue of her great-great-great-great-grandfather could be found in Hyde Park. That detail immediately stood out. Kendall is one of the world's most recognizable models, but behind the fashion campaigns, runway appearances, and celebrity headlines is a family history that stretches far beyond Hollywood. And now, during her latest stay in London, Kendall finally appeared to make the visit herself. The moment may have been brief, but it carried a much deeper meaning. Kendall shared a photo alongside the statue of Edward Jenner, turning what could have been an ordinary stop in London into a personal family history moment. Instead of simply passing through Hyde Park, she took the opportunity to stand beside a monument connected directly to her ancestry. And that is where the story becomes even more interesting. Because Kendall's London trip has already attracted enormous attention for another reason. Her time in the city has been closely watched because of her appearances with Jacob Elordi. The pair have increasingly found themselves at the center of celebrity news, with their London outings generating intense interest from fans and entertainment media. From dinners to public appearances, every sighting has fueled further conversation about the two stars. But this visit offered something different. There was no red carpet. No major premiere. No elaborate fashion event. Instead, there was Kendall Jenner standing beside a statue connected to her family. It was a quieter moment, but perhaps one of the most personal moments of her London trip. And if you have been following Kendall Jenner and Jacob Elordi's recent London appearances, this contrast is impossible to ignore. One moment, the headlines are focused on their growing public presence together. The next, Kendall is stepping away from the celebrity spotlight to explore a piece of her own family history. That shift in atmosphere gives the moment its significance. Edward Jenner's legacy is enormous. Born in the 18th century, Edward Jenner became famous for his groundbreaking work involving smallpox. At a time when smallpox was one of the world's most feared diseases, Jenner's observations about cowpox and immunity led to an approach that would change the course of medical history. His work eventually became associated with the development of vaccination as we understand it today. The Hyde Park statue serves as a reminder of that legacy. For most visitors, it represents a historical figure whose work had a global impact. For Kendall Jenner, the meaning is far more personal. It represents a direct connection to her own ancestry. And that makes the photograph she shared more than just another celebrity snapshot from London. It is a rare glimpse into the personal side of Kendall Jenner, a side that is often overshadowed by her career, fashion, and famous family. Kendall grew up in one of the world's most famous families. Her mother, Kris Jenner, and her sisters Kim Kardashian, Kourtney Kardashian, Khloe Kardashian, and Kylie Jenner have all become major figures in entertainment and popular culture. Yet the Jenner family story did not begin with reality television or social media. Long before Kendall Jenner became a global fashion icon, her family history included people whose lives were connected to completely different worlds. Edward Jenner's place in history makes that connection especially fascinating. And now imagine the scene. Kendall is in London. The city is buzzing around her. Fans and photographers are interested in her movements. Her relationship with Jacob Elordi is generating headlines. Fashion and entertainment outlets are following her every appearance. But somewhere in the middle of all that attention, Kendall chooses to visit a monument connected to her family's past. That is the kind of detail that can easily get lost in the larger celebrity story. But it may actually be one of the most memorable parts of the entire trip. And there is another reason this moment has attracted attention. Kendall had already spoken publicly about Edward Jenner's connection to her family. So this visit does not appear to have come completely out of nowhere. She had previously mentioned the statue. She knew where it was. She knew why it mattered. And now she had the opportunity to see it in person. That creates a natural full-circle moment. A family connection mentioned during a fashion campaign eventually became something Kendall experienced firsthand while visiting London. It is a small detail, but it adds another layer to the story. And this is where things get even more intriguing. Because while fans may have expected Kendall's London trip to be dominated by fashion and romance headlines, the Edward Jenner visit introduced something much more personal. It connected the modern celebrity world with centuries of family history. On one side is Kendall Jenner, a global model who has walked major runways and appeared in campaigns for some of the biggest names in fashion. On the other is Edward Jenner, a historic medical pioneer whose work helped shape the development of vaccination. The distance between those two worlds could hardly be greater. Yet they are connected by family. That connection is what makes the visit so fascinating. And when Kendall posed beside the statue, the image carried a message without needing a dramatic caption. It was essentially a moment of recognition. A recognition of where part of her family came from and the legacy that existed long before her own rise to fame. For viewers who know Kendall primarily through modeling, fashion, reality television, and celebrity news, the Edward Jenner connection may come as a surprise. It also highlights how much history can exist behind a famous surname. The Jenner name is now strongly associated with Kendall and Kylie Jenner. But the name has an older history, one that reaches back to Edward Jenner and his contributions to medicine. That history is something Kendall herself has acknowledged. And now London gave her the chance to physically stand beside it. Meanwhile, her time in London with Jacob Elordi continues to generate speculation and interest. The two stars have become one of the most closely watched celebrity pairings in recent entertainment coverage, particularly as their public appearances have become more visible. Their outings have created a steady stream of headlines, with fans watching for every new photograph, every dinner appearance, and every indication of where the relationship might be heading. But Kendall's Edward Jenner visit offers an important reminder. Not every moment of a celebrity's life is about romance. Not every photograph is about a relationship. Sometimes, there is a personal story underneath the headlines. And this may be one of those moments. Think about it. Kendall could have spent her entire London stay moving from one glamorous location to another. Instead, she made time for a historic site that has a direct connection to her family. That choice makes the visit feel more meaningful than a typical sightseeing stop. It is also a reminder that celebrity families can have surprisingly deep historical roots. And perhaps that is why this particular moment has resonated with so many people. The photograph does not show a huge event. There is no dramatic announcement. There is no major red carpet. But sometimes the quieter moments tell the most interesting stories. Kendall Jenner standing beside Edward Jenner's statue is one of those moments. It brings together family history, British history, London culture, celebrity fascination, and Kendall's own journey. And there is something almost symbolic about the location. Hyde Park is one of London's most recognizable public spaces, filled with landmarks, monuments, visitors, and centuries of history. Among all those stories is the story of Edward Jenner. And now, centuries after his groundbreaking work, a descendant of his family has stood beside his statue. That image connects the past and present in a way that feels almost cinematic. Kendall's visit also demonstrates how celebrity travel can sometimes reveal unexpected details about a person's background. When celebrities travel, the public often focuses on where they eat, where they stay, what they wear, and who they are seen with. But Kendall's visit shows another side of the experience. For her, London was not simply another destination. It was also an opportunity to explore a piece of family history. And that makes the story worth remembering. Of course, the timing of the visit makes it even more interesting. Kendall has been spending time in London alongside Jacob Elordi, and their appearances together have kept fans watching closely. So while the public conversation surrounding the pair has largely focused on their relationship, Kendall's personal visit to Edward Jenner's statue created an entirely different storyline. It shifted the conversation from romance to ancestry, from Hollywood to history, from celebrity culture to family legacy. And that unexpected change of direction is exactly what makes this story stand out. There is also a deeper lesson here. Fame can make a person's present seem larger than everything that came before it. Kendall Jenner's career is enormous. She has become one of the most recognizable models in the world. Her social media presence reaches millions. Her family is one of the most famous in modern pop culture. But her visit to Edward Jenner's statue reminds us that her story is only one chapter in a much longer family history. Before Kendall Jenner became a household name, generations of her family lived lives far removed from the modern celebrity spotlight. Edward Jenner's story, in particular, became part of world history. And now his descendant has publicly acknowledged that connection. That is the real heart of this London story. It is not simply about Kendall Jenner visiting a statue. It is about a modern celebrity taking a moment to recognize an ancestor whose name has survived through history. And perhaps that is why the moment feels so different from the usual Kendall Jenner headlines. There is no controversy to chase. No shocking revelation. No dramatic confrontation. Just a quiet connection between a famous woman and an extraordinary part of her family's past. But don't let the quiet nature of the moment fool you. Sometimes the most powerful celebrity stories are the ones that reveal something unexpected. And Kendall's Edward Jenner visit does exactly that. It shows that behind the global fashion campaigns, behind the famous family, behind the headlines surrounding Jacob Elordi, there is still a person who can become curious about where she comes from. The story also gives fans a completely different way to look at Kendall's London trip. Instead of seeing the city only as the backdrop for celebrity appearances and romantic speculation, London becomes part of a personal family journey. Kendall was not simply visiting another landmark. She was visiting a place connected to someone whose legacy remains recognized centuries later. And when the camera focuses on Kendall standing beside that statue, the contrast is striking. A modern fashion icon beside a monument honoring a historic medical pioneer. Two different eras. Two completely different worlds. One family connection. That is the image that ultimately gives this story its payoff. Because what began as another celebrity trip to London turned into a moment of family history. Kendall Jenner may be known around the world for her modeling career, her famous family, and her highly watched personal life. But during this London trip, she gave fans something else to talk about. Her ancestry. Her connection to Edward Jenner. And her decision to finally visit the statue she had previously mentioned. For Kendall, it may have been a simple personal moment. For fans, it became a fascinating glimpse into a side of her history that is rarely discussed. And as the London trip continues to attract attention because of Kendall Jenner and Jacob Elordi, this quieter moment may ultimately become one of the most memorable. Because celebrity relationships can dominate headlines for a day. Fashion moments can trend for a week. But family history can last for generations. Kendall Jenner's visit to Edward Jenner's statue brought those generations together in one photograph. A descendant standing beside an ancestor's monument. A London landmark becoming a personal destination. And a famous surname suddenly revealing a much deeper history. So while the world continues watching Kendall Jenner and Jacob Elordi's London story unfold, there is another story worth remembering. A story about family. A story about history. And a story about how one of the world's most famous models took a moment to acknowledge the remarkable legacy behind her own name. What do you think about Kendall Jenner visiting Edward Jenner's statue during her London trip? Does the family connection surprise you, or did you already know about Kendall's ancestry? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on Kendall Jenner, Jacob Elordi, celebrity news, London sightings, and the latest stories from the world of entertainment.